Today I received an order from PF Candle Company, and I also received a stencil from the Bookmaker Collective from Kristen Peterson, and a scrap piece of mail from MTA. And so all the packing materials and everything that I had, I was like, great, it's Earth Day, and look at all of this waste. So I thought, let's make something cool out of it. So I lit the candle, got it away from the paper, and started to make. This cover for this candle was yellow, and I thought, oh, that's kind of cute. So I just spliced it on both edges, and then to make it thinner, and then I tried to bend it and try to break it off, but I had to use the scissors and cut it up. But I just thought it would make a cool journal. So I just cut off the excess and had a front and back cover. At first I was just going to make a journal that was that size, the folded size, and then I thought, no, let's do a little bigger journal. And so I decided to cut it down the middle. Well, first I started folding all the, let's go back here. So first I started folding all the junk mail that was in the flyers that came in the packaging that I got, and then that little flyer that came in the mail. And I kind of measured what the journal was, and then I cut that piece to size. So then I looked at it and I didn't want to waste a big slice of it. So I just kind of ended up cutting it kind of in half so that I had to have two pieces. And then I put all that to size so that I had four of that heavy material for the inside of the journal. So here I'm looking at it thinking, maybe let's cut this in half and try something else. So I started digging through the stash of the yellow cardboard box, and I thought, why don't I just take this and kind of make a binding kind of on the outside of it there. And I fiddle with it forever, and then I eventually decide that that's not working. I can't get it to go straight. So I went and got a ruler and traced with a pencil so that I could fold it, with a steady line. So here I'm using the ruler to kind of guide it as I fold it over. And then the other side, then I cut that excess, and then I'm just taking Yes glue and gluing it to the front and the back. I am cutting a little bit of this. I wanted to leave the wording on the front of the cover so that I could remember what it was, basically. So that front piece was covering the wording, so I cut it down a little bit. And then I'm going to take and glue the front and the back of this journal to that little strip so that it kind of holds it firmly. And I'm using the scrap piece because I couldn't find my spatula thing. So I just used that to grab the glue. Sliding it across. And now I'm going to position these, and then I'm going to let them dry. Now I'm taking that insert and I'm kind of taking the wrapping paper from the inside of the box from my candles, because there's a lot of wrapping because it's glass. And so I'm just kind of using the ruler to kind of guide that I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not being too precise about it. I was trying to do something very simple and very quick. And so then I'm using some of this craft paper too, because I thought that would be kind of cool because it had craft paper and then that other newsprint paper. And I'm just using that pieces of the inside of the journal from the flyers as a guide and just kind of tearing it. I'm trying to be very basic with this, very quick and very basic. So I take the ruler and I finish doing that. And I'm going to do that with, I think it's 4 sheets, and I continue to do that same thing. I wanted to make this journal a no-sew journal, so you could sew these together. I was trying to make them a little more firm, so making them thicker, and so I'm troubleshooting here how I could do that. And I just thought if I glued them in 2-ply that it would make them thicker sheets of journal paper for the inside of the journal. So I'm just taking a glue stick and gluing the two together to make them a little thicker. And I do this and I'm like, oh, that's kind of small. I don't know, I mess with this for a minute and then I decide that I just need to fold them completely over and deal with it later. And so then I have a good slice of paper. So here you can see they're just too small. I still use them though, but they're just kind of too small. So I thought, here I'm measuring and I'm like, you're really small. That one's okay. Anyways, so that was a little troubleshooting, but I take that same concept and I just glue these that I've cut. I just glue them completely in half. There you go. So now they're a 2-ply and then I let them dry. After those are done, what I do is I take the journal and I lay it flat on top of those papers and just tear the ends off. I keep a ruler holding it firm and I just tear those edges off. So now those 2-plies, I just fold them in half to make the inside of the journal. My thought is if I just took those mailer inserts and put one on the inside and one on the outside of both, because there was I'm doing 2 signatures, and if I put one on the inside and one on the outside, and now I'm going to staple them together because it's a no-sew. So I'm stapling them to make these little signatures. And like I said, I have those mailers because they were heavier cardstock on the front and the back of the signatures. Now I'm taking masking tape and I'm just covering up the staples because I just didn't want them to show. So I'm just taking a little masking tape. You could use washi tape, you could use anything, and you don't even have to cover them. I just thought it would be nice to cover them, so I did. Now I have my little journal, and I had ordered something last week that this ribbon came in it, and I saved it. And so this thing is almost completely from trash, from stuff that came in the mail that I'm reusing, which I was kind of proud of myself for. So now I'm attaching them to the cover by tying them with this ribbon. I'm just cutting the excess off. And now I'm going to do the second signature. as I was looking at this, I'm like, I kind of want it to have a closure. I like my journals to have a closure. So I thought, why not just thread the ribbon through those tied spine pieces and have it close and just have a little tie. So I'm cutting that down to size, and I was kind of concerned about it kind of slipping out. So I tied that piece to the spine pieces so that it kind of held right there. I was kind of impressed with how this turned out. Like and subscribe if you want more tutorials.